It's Sunday, July the 12th out here on the farm. That means two things. One, I turned 60 years old today. Happy birthday to me. Number two, it's Sunday, which means we don't work, but we do cook. So what we're about to do this evening is we're going to get a rotisserie chuck roast seasoned up with some fajita seasoning on the rotisserie. And then underneath it, I'm going to make something. I can't find this on YouTube. I'm not sure if anybody's made it before, but I'm basically going to take a foil pan and I'm going to make rotisserie pinto beans or charro beans in the bottom. So what do you say? Let's get started. Okay, got everything ready to chop up. All I'm going to do is I'm going to dice the onions. I'm going to rough dice the bell pepper and also the jalapeno, which I have de-seeded and taken the membranes out of. So first things first, going to be the onions. I've got the garlic on the plate here, so I'll get the onions going first. Like I said, just a rough chop on those. Not a professional chef, trust me. I don't have the knife skills those guys do. However, rough chop, get that down, and these are ready to go over into the frying pan here in just a few minutes after we do the bacon. I'm cutting the vegetables up first, simply because I'm going to be cutting bacon on this cutting board next, and then after I cut the bacon up, definitely have to sanitize it before I can use it again for anything else that we're going to be using it for today. So onions are about done. Get those over to the side. Bell peppers, I'm going to do those about the same. I'm going to go ahead and take those. This is a medium bell pepper. Don't know if I said it or not, but everything that I'm cooking up vegetable wise came out of our garden here at the farm. Really got lucky this year with decent rain, so we had some decent harvests going on. And as we progress, you'll probably see some more of this happening. Peppers, slivers. That's all I'm doing with those is slivers. That way the bride can easily see those when they happen. All right, next thing up, we'll get some stuff sizzling up, cut up the bacon. Be right back. The bacon is also farm raised. However, it was not raised on our farm. A friend of ours raised this one up, called us and said, hey, got one we're taking to the locker plant soon. Are y'all interested? And we're like, yes, we are. So took it to the locker plant. So this bacon's going to taste a whole lot different than the stuff like you would get from the store. If you ever get a chance to get some good, real farm-raised bacon, I highly, highly recommend that you do. This has a little more smoke on it than I like, so it's perfect for what we're about to be doing here, which is throwing it over into a pot where we can go ahead and fry it up. Once we get it fried up, we'll transfer it over into this pan, and then we will fry the veggies in the bacon fat. I'm gonna let this bacon fry up a little bit. One of the things you'll find with the fresh farm or farm fresh bacon is you're not going to get as much water out of it as you are the stuff that you get from the store. So this will cook a little bit quicker. I'll be back after this crisps up and we're ready to pull that out and add some vegetables. Starting to get some decent color on the bacon here. That's what I want. I don't want it crisp. I want, some good color to it. I want it basically almost completely fried. And then I'm going to pull it out, set it on a plate, have it ready to go into the pan over there. And I don't just dump the bacon out because I want to reserve this grease for most of this grease for the vegetables. I'm going to need to drain a little bit of that grease out of here, and then we'll get the veggies going. Okay, I probably poured about half of that bacon grease out. Let's go ahead and get some veggies going over in here and get those just where they're tender. I want those to the point where they're tender only. I've got the garlic reserved over to the side, and that garlic, I'll throw it in when it's just almost ready here. Now doing the jalapenos along with the bell pepper and the onion should give me some jalapeno flavor as well. And you see that color, it's in the bottom. That's fond. What I'll do before I pour these vegetables over in the pan is I'll dump in some of that cold chicken stock that we're going to use. That cold chicken stock will help to break that fond up and give us a little more flavor. Okay, it's time to get some garlic started in this. You notice most every recipe you look at, they say add 2 cloves of garlic. Every time I see 2 cloves of garlic, it tells me, okay, I'm putting in 5 or 6. Let me know in the comments. How much garlic is 2 cloves to you? You stick with the recipe, or do you and your family like garlic? Let me know. So we're going to cook this garlic just to the point to where it starts to get a little fragrant, where I can really smell it. And then I'm going to cut the heat. I'm not going to need to add anything to get this fond out of here. The onions are pretty much taking care of it themselves. The other veggies as well, as they started to lose some of their juice and such. So we're about ready to pour this over into the tray, and then we'll start building a pot for some beans. See you back at the cutting board. All right, let's make us a pan of beans. I'm used to saying a pot of beans, but I said pan of beans. I like that. All right, going in with 2 cans of just regular old Bush's pinto beans, juice and all. I'm not draining anything. 2 cans of the beans. Those go in. 1 can of Rotel. This is mild. My bride doesn't do spicy, so got the mild one going on here with this. And then I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Now, I can't find my teaspoon. I got to go with half. So 1, 2, 3. That'll be close enough to 4 right there. Then I need 1 teaspoon smoked paprika. Don't know if we're going to need the smoked paprika since we're going to do it in the rotisserie, and I'm going to be using mesquite wood. That's going to give plenty of smoke. And then the last thing I'm putting in there, I know some people are probably going to balk, is I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of molasses. And what's that going to do is that molasses is kind of going to cut down on some of the acidicness that you're going to have from some of the veggies and stuff. Now it's time for the veggies and the bacon. We're going to stir all of this up real quick here. Sorry, didn't have a stirring utensil. Stir this up, and we're going to put just enough of that chicken stock in there to make sure that we've got enough liquid as we go along throughout this cook. As y'all can see, this is a really robust mixture. I mean, this right here could be a meal in itself. Get you a good old pan of cornbread, which my wife makes some awesome cornbread, and you'd be good to go. So that's that little chicken stock, and then I'm going to let this sit and rest while I get the fire up to speed. And once we get the fire going where I like it, we'll get some meat on the rotisserie, and this show will get on the road. Okay, we're going to skewer this chunk of meat. After we get it on the skewer on the rotisserie, then I'm going to truss it up. One thing I've learned about chuck roast, especially a good one, the small town I live in, you got 2 choices. You either get choice Angus or you get, I wouldn't feed that to my dog for scraps. So we're working with a choice Angus here, which is not always our first and best selection. It is probably the best selection, but it's not always our first selection from a monetary standpoint. But we didn't have one in the freezer, so I went with this one right here. Got 2 sets of spikes on here, got short and long. Going with the long sets of spikes on here, and then like I said, I'm going to truss it as well. Once we get it on there, that's when we're going to make certain that everything is lined up well and centered on the rotisserie. So I don't have it extremely tight right now, but I'm going to go ahead and cut some string. Get it up under here. It's not going to require a whole lot of trussing because I do have the longer spikes on there, but makes me feel better to know it's kind of tied up. If I could tie a knot. Okay, I'm gonna go back to school, learn how to tie granny knot 101. Probably gonna go with 3 strings on this one, just to be on the safe side. Like I said, chuck roasts, if you've cooked them before, you know that they like to get tender, and when they decide to get tender, all of a sudden they get tender, and last thing you want is this critter falling apart on you about 3/4 of the way through the cook. You're not going to be real happy, and everybody that's been waiting for this, it's going to mean you're not going to be real popular either. So, got it trussed up, and then I'll be back here in just a sec, and we'll get some seasoning on here. This isn't wanting to cooperate today. Now, right now, I'm going to check that fire, cut these strings off. I shall return. All right, let's season this critter up. Just using some Adams Tex-Mex fajita seasoning. It's always worked well. Looks like I'm going pretty heavy. You got to remember, this is going to be spinning round and round. As it spins round and round, juices are going to come off. And then also, I don't use a binder, so a lot of this is going to fall off as I'm messing around with it here. And then also, once it starts cooking a little bit and getting some natural moisture coming out, I will once again season it at that point. But for right now, I'm going to let it sit and rest with a couple paper towels over the top of it until the fire is ready. Oh, and for those that may be wondering, I did sanitize the board in between. What I did is I took some kosher salt, put it on there, half a lemon, scrubbed it down really well, hit it with a damp paper towel, dried it off. We're good. Okay, this is going to be the second most precarious part of this entire cook. The first most precarious part is going to be lifting this out of here after everything's done. Then another trick is going to be make sure we don't get a lot of ashes in it. So we're to the part where we can start making a chuck roast dizzy. Let's get it on there. Now we're pretty close to center right there, but I want to move it just a little bit, so I'm going to push some right there, pretty much centered over the top of the pan, which is where we want to be. So we want all the drippings to go in there. So let's get this critter rocking. I'm going to put the lid on there, and we'll check it in about 30 minutes to see where we're at. We're about 40 minutes in on this cook. I know we're not even close yet, but starting to get some color on there. Starting to look pretty decent. Just for giggles, what's the temperature? About 118. Yeah, we still got a ways to go. And the wood's looking okay. So I'm going to drop a couple of coals in here. See what's happening. For those that are wondering, we're running about 275, 300 degrees. Probably a little higher now that that meat flared, or that wood flared up. So we'll check on it again in another 30. See where we're at. Just over an hour in. Wanted to give these beans a quick stir. Hope you can see those down there. Not sure. I'll peek and see. That fire's a little warm. And let's yep. That mesquite wood's doing its job, definitely. I like that. Clear out some of these ashes here too while we're in here. And let's go ahead and check, see what the temperature is. Oh, we got another hour probably. Yeah, it's still pretty tough pushing into it. Sure is looking good though. All right, we'll drop some more coals in there and we're gonna get this thing back to spinning. We are 2.5 hours in. Everything seems ready. These beans, the consistency is, oh my gosh, consistency is great. But here comes the part that I dread the most always. I got to take it off and let it rest for a bit. I'm going to let it rest for about 15-20 minutes. Then I'll unwrap it. We'll slice it together. These beans are hot. Everything looks like it's ready to rock and roll. Oh, I'm looking forward to this like you would not believe. And we're resting. See y'all in a half hour. It is time to unwrap this beast. And let's see what kind of goodness we have created here. Definitely going to save that aluminum foil that's got some juiciness in it. All right. That's cooled enough where I can unscrew everything. Let's push it off of here. I think that's cool enough. We'll see. Whew. It's still warm. It is definitely still warm. All right. Pull the forks out. Oh yeah, I already like the way it's pulling apart here. It's acting like it's wanting to be a little tender. There we go. All right, still got the strings on there. See if we can find those real quick and take care of them. Here we go. Very seldom do I do what I'm about to do. Since it's the first time cooking this, I'm going to go ahead and just slice it in half, turn it around, and let's see what we got. All right, y'all are going to see it before I do. Oh yeah, smoke ring, looks good. Oh yeah, we're great here. I think it's time for a taste test. Alrighty, I'm gonna slice a piece off and see if I'm gonna be happy or if I'm gonna be sad. We'll slice a piece right here. Bring it up. It is still plenty warm. Yes, indeed. We will do this again. Appreciate y'all watching along with me. I'll take a taste of those beans in the house and let you know what we think. Y'all take care.